Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to Readers Workshop, the Quarantine Edition, with me, Mrs. Alegria. Today we're going to be going over how Readers Workshop is same as what we've done before in the classroom, but how it's just a little bit different now that we're in quarantine. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first slide. Readers Workshop Timeline Schedule. This is something that you're going to want to get familiar with because this is what we're going to do every single Readers Workshop. Now, before you watch the video, you want to make sure that you are set up. Give yourself about 5 minutes to collect all of your supplies. The next slide will go over exactly what those supplies look like. After that, you get a 5 to 10 minute meeting with me. And we get to talk about reading strategies and things that we're going to be doing with our Readers Workshop. Then, it's the best part, the independent reading time. Now, independent reading time can go from anywhere between 30 minutes, 45 minutes. It can go even longer than that if you're having a really great time reading. But at the end, please always save at least 5 to 10 minutes of wrap-up time. And wrap-up time is where you spend time transferring some of the ideas that you had in your head into your reader's notebook or on Post-it notes, whichever helps you more. Now, what you need for every single workshop. Getting set up. You're going to need something to read. That's pretty simple, right? You need something to read. It can be a book. It can be an ebook, a magazine. It could be from Newsela, an article. It could be epic as long as it can keep you busy for 30 whole minutes or longer. That's the standard. You'll also need your reader's notebook, which most of you received in your packages from school. You will need Post-it notes. You might have a few, you might not have any, but if you have your reader's notebook, you're all good. You're definitely going to want something to write with. You're going to need a pencil. Now, I say a pencil instead of a pen because if we accidentally write in our precious books, we can erase it. So, pencil is preferred for Readers Workshop. And, of course, a bookmark or a tracker. Now, I couldn't find any bookmarks or trackers like I had at school. I had popsicle sticks that were my tracker, but I do have paintbrushes. And you can get creative with your tracker. For me, a tracker is super easy because I can track the words that I am reading as I am reading them, and it helps me to stay focused. So a tracker is very helpful. And then finally, a comfy sitting spot. Now, you don't want to be too comfy. We think that it's unrealistic to sit at a desk and read a book for enjoyment. Sometimes, maybe, but my favorite spot to read is right in the corner of my sofa where the two little corners come together and I can get all cozy with a blanket on a cold day and sit by the window and read. You don't want to get too comfy, because if you get too comfy, like you're laying in your bed, you could fall asleep or get distracted and not be reading your book. So beware. When you are taking notes on your reading, you might want to use stop and jots, and we're definitely going to have you try that today. Taking a stop and jot, you want to take little tiny notes on things about the book. Maybe you want to ask the book a question or the characters a question. Maybe something in the book reminds you of something that's happening in real life. Maybe you were able to visualize it in your head perfectly, or there was something that surprised you. For me, in my book, there was a lot of stuff that surprised me. So I took a Post-it note and I put a big exclamation point on the top corner right down here. That surprised me when she actually went to the aquarium and said that she loved sharks. So that would be an explanation of what you want to put on your stop and jots. Now, when you're starting a new book, it's so exciting. It's just the best. Last week, we all got set up with new books. I'm very excited to start my book. And many of you are great readers, but did you know that there are actually steps for reading a new book? You need to know the situation that you're getting yourself into with this book. It's very easy to remember. You need to know the who, what, where, when, and why. Let's go ahead and take an example. So I'm reading the book, Shark Lady. For my who, what, where, when, and why, I have who, Eugenie Clark. What, a biography about her adventures investigating sharks. Where, it takes place actually in a bunch of different places. The aquarium, her childhood home, and even in the ocean, like you can see on the cover. For when. The book was published in 1978, but her life, I had to look this up on Google, actually went from 1922 to 2015 when she passed away. Now the fifth one, we're going to actually have our very own Readers Workshop about the why, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about it now. Why can go in a bunch of different directions. You can say why you, the reader, chose the book that you read and why you enjoy it so much. Another why could be asking the character a question about why did they act that way, or why did they make those choices? Another why is why did the author feel like it was important to reveal this information, or why was it important for the author to write this book? These are all great why questions. we're going to use an example from Old Yeller, the book that half of you guys are reading. Old Yeller, the who is Old Yeller, Travis, Arliss, Mama, and Papa. The what is that's a fiction type of book that describes the life on a ranch and being new settlers. Where takes place in Texas. Their house is near Birdsong Creek, near the settlement of Salt Branch, and 600 miles from Abilene, Kansas. And 4, when. The book was published in 1956, but the story was set in the 1860s, right after the Civil War. 5, why. Now, why is the character so confused about wanting a dog or wanting a horse? That was just one question that I thought of about why. The next slide, Tuck Everlasting example. So the who, we have Winnie, Miles, Jesse, Tuck, and May. What, fiction that describes eternal life. 3, it takes place in the woods. When, a book that was published in 1975, but the story was set about 50 years ago. And then, why? Why would anybody choose to have eternal life? That's kind of a bigger question, but I digress. Finally, it's your turn. So start enjoying your book. Then after your reading time, you got to do 2 important things. 1, fill out the Google document that's included in this assignment. And 2, take a picture of one of the Stop and Jots that you made. Make sure you're making some Stop and Jots and attach it to your assignment. Name them appropriately and then submit them to Google Classroom.
Hi, boys and girls. So I found my comfy, cozy reading spot, but I'm not too comfy. I'm in that corner of the sofa that I love so much. I'm all ready with my book. I have something to write with, and I also have Post-it notes. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with my reading, and I'm going to show you what it looks like when I take a Stop and Jot. Okay, here we go. A very special Saturday. Wake up, Jeannie, Mama called. We have to go to downtown soon. Eugenie Clark mumbled into her pillow. Who wants to go downtown on a Saturday? Saturdays were for climbing rocks and trees with Norma, her best friend. Saturdays were for digging up fat worms, bringing home bugs and snakes, and making sure that Grandma didn't see them. I'm already gonna write a Stop and Jot because I have a self-to-text connection. So the Stop and Jot, that first paragraph that I read in the book, is text-to-self connection. It reminds me of something. And so I'm going to put this symbol on the top of my Post-it note. Looks like 2 arrows. And it kind of says like, this reminds me of that. And I'm going to explain why I have this reminder. This part where Eugenie is acting like a tomboy reminds me of when I was growing up. I used to love digging up worms and playing with bugs and finding snakes and stuff. So I'm going to have that text-to-self connection. So it looks like this. Then you take your Post-it note out and you want to put it right inside of your notebook. If it looks a little sideways, that's okay. But this is a good reminder for the section of the book that you had a Stop and Jot.
Thank you so much. And don't forget, if you have any questions, you can send them my way or to your teacher. Thank you guys. Bye.